Imagine you're in a china shop, you're Aggie, and you got your china shop and a bull came in, you'd be like, bull, get out. You wouldn't even let them in the shop. And that's the same as the gym. Time in the middle of the board, A-Ho here, leader of the BLC club, and a bunch of other stupid stuff I've come up with over these months of talking about fitness. And look, it's gonna keep it nice and simple today. So many people are finding the gym, especially from home, which is kind of fascinating to me, because obviously gyms aren't open all over the world right now, and people are still trying to get in shape, and I think that's great, because when the world did shut down, I can completely understand and completely correlate with someone being like, actually, right now I'm just going to eat a bunch of crap, because out there in the crazy zombie world that's going on, it's something I don't want to get involved with at all. Completely can relate to that. I had a few days where I was like that. I ate whatever the hell I want. My girlfriend was shocked because one day I just ordered takeaway. I don't think I've ordered takeaway for around about 72 years. This was like on a Thursday too. It was like, what? That wasn't true. Anyway, and just absolutely crazy. And then I realized I didn't want to live my life that way, and I went back. However, number one question I get, well, not number one, but top 5 question I get is, just give me a few not so obvious tips for beginners. And these are the things that I think most beginners at the gym make the most. And I'm not talking about not getting enough protein or not that kind of stuff. It's more of the general things that you need to watch out for to ensure that you can continue training and that you don't burn yourself out too quick and that you don't make mistakes and that you don't think, well, I'm not really enjoying this gym session because, again, I'm not really seeing any progress. So here's the top 5 things that all gym people do kind of make wah. Number 5 is not eating right. You still get it all the time. I get a ton of Instagram messages at Simon316, cheap plug, and I love them. I love all the messages. You inspire my videos and you humble the absolute crap out of me because I can't believe anybody's messaging me to want to talk about fitness. But it's always like, I want to lose fat here. What should I train? Or, I want to do this. What should I train? I want to lift it. It's all about the training. And going to the gym is so important. If you don't go to the gym, ain't nothing going to happen, right? If you want a sandwich and you just have some tuna, it's not a sandwich. You need the bread, right? And if you want a tuna sandwich and you just eat some bread, you just had the bread. What are we even talking about? But diet is so important when it comes to lifting weights. Unless you're some kind of genetic freak, if you are not eating the right things and your nutrition isn't right and you're not, heading in the right direction with your food, you're not going to see the results you want. And it's the same the other way. You can sort of sort your diet right out, and after you've lost a ton of weight because, you're not eating as many calories, because if you're eating junk food, then you switch to healthy food, it's going to assume that you've gone down. Without doing the right kind of cardio and training, it's not going to work. So they have to work in unison. But so many people go to the gym and they don't focus on the diet. And I know when I started way back when the world was still in black and white and people were like, what's a TV? I was the same. I went to the gym. Do you know how I used to think you got abs? By doing crunches. I used to do crunches. That's what I used to do at the gym. The friend I used to go with used to just do chest press because he wanted a big chest. I wanted abs, so I just did abs. Then we went home and we drank Coke and ate Haribo. Now, actually, in a way, you could talk about spiking your glycogen stores, but that's not what this is not what this video is about. It's also nonsense. You have to make sure your diet is right. Even if it is as simple as cutting out the junk and ensuring that you've increased your protein intake to start with. And the reason I think it's so important is if you don't see progress early on, and the best time to ever see progress is newbie gains, as they say, because you will get gains quicker than someone that's been doing it for a long time. And you're probably going to get them regardless just from going to the gym. But still, you want to see more than that. And if you don't have that response quickly enough, I can understand why you'd stop going to the gym, right? Why you'd stop training. Because you think, well, this sucks. It's not working. Make sure you sort your diet out. I've done loads of videos about food. Hopefully they can help. If you don't want to get it from me, just type it into Google, type it into YouTube. There's a bunch of people that can help you out. So yeah, that's not put at number 5, but it's number 1 now. Changed it around. We're screwing up numbers. Sorry, Einstein. Did not invent numbers. What a stupid thing to say. Make sure you sort out your diet. Number 4 is that no one actually learns when they're first starting out how to lift properly. Like, you wouldn't do that with anybody else. You wouldn't walk into a martial arts gym and throw a kung fu kick and say, do you know how to throw a kung fu kick, yeah? Or do you know how to do any kind of Brazilian jiu-jitsu, yeah? And then you fluke it. No! You listen to the teacher and you educate yourself and you teach yourself. So when you want to do a deadlift for the first time, which is a dangerous exercise because you're just picking up a dead weight, who knows what could go wrong, make sure you've... 2 things. 1, got on the internet, watched some videos, read some tips, tried it with nothing on the bar, just picking up the bar, or go up to somebody in the gym that works there and say, hey man, are you able to show me how to do the deadlift? And if they work there, they're not going to turn around and go, no, you pansy. And if they do, sue them and make a bunch of money because they're absolutely nuts. It doesn't happen anywhere else. But people think they can just walk into the gym and they know what everything's going to be fine. No, you have to take it easy. You have to take your time. You don't want to get carried away. And you absolutely need to know how these things work. Because you're putting your body on your line. Put hands up if you go to the gym and you got injured. Everyone's got their hands up right now. And if they haven't, it means you're probably not training hard enough. But it happens even when you do know what you're doing. So when you don't know what you're doing, it's going to be even bigger still. So yes, go out there and ensure that, and there's nothing wrong with the first time you do an exercise, doing it with no weight. Just doing it with the bar, or if you're doing it on machine, doing it on the very first weight stack, whatever. If anybody is giving you any grief, they're a massive loser. I mean that. I have never looked at anybody in the gym discriminatedly or looked down on them. I'm just happy that they're there. Sometimes I don't even see them. I don't. I feel like I'm in the gym by myself and I'm walking into people and people hate me because like, what's wrong with this bald freak? But, you know, it's just something that you have to do. Because it ties into number 3 is that you can injure yourself, especially if you try to train too hard, right? This all ties into the evolution of lifting. When you've been lifting weights for ages, you are going to have to get more and more intense. And you're going to have to, you know, find ways to shock your body and find ways to continue growth. But when you first start that off, you don't have to do that. And as you have all these other things that you're trying to figure out, like your diet and how to do this stuff, if you push it too hard, too early, it's going to be too much for your body. You're going to break and you're going to be injured. And then what are you going to do? You're going to be sat back at home again, eating Cheetos and getting fat, right? And Cheetos are amazing. I know Cheetos are amazing. I went to a holiday to America last year. I'd never had Cheetos. And I was like, I'm going to have some Cheetos. I ate the whole flipping bag. It wasn't a small bag. It was a big bag. Then I was like, when I go on holiday, I don't really worry about calories. I thought, I got to know. It was 1,600 calories for a bag of Cheetos. That's how good Cheetos are. But I have a friend that just started going to the gym and he's done everything right. He really, really has. He's gone out of his way to make sure that he is, treading the boards as best as possible, and he injured his shoulder. It's not his fault, but it happens. So do not feel like you have to go in there at 100 miles per hour. You can take your time. You can figure this stuff out. Just be proud and pleased that you got there in the first place. And of course, you have to have a plan. And of course, you need to make sure that you're progressing and sorting things out and training all the different body parts. But it doesn't have to be hell to leather. It's like a bull in a china shop, right? Imagine you're in a china shop. You're Aggie, and you got your china shop, and a bull came in. You'd be like, bull, get out. You wouldn't even let them in the shop. And that's the same as the gym. If they could, they'd kick you out. But gyms are obsessed with subscriptions, but so they won't. But if it was a well-subscribed gym that wasn't looking for anybody else and you were just roaming around, they'd ask you to leave. So don't do it. Number 2 kind of ties into it, and it's lifting too heavy too quickly. Do not worry that there's a guy in the corner doing 150 kilogram bench press. Don't worry there's a girl over there doing 150 gram deadlift. Don't worry about any of that. Do what you can do. Someone else I know, different person, started the gym recently as well. And they said they were embarrassed when they went to do the bench press because they picked up the bar and they were surprised it weighed so much. Because, of course, most Olympic bars weigh around about 20 kilos. What's that, 45 pounds? I'm used to that mass, that equation. But you could just do the bar. Just do the bar. And then if you actually think to yourself, you know what, I squeezed out about 12 reps, I feel pretty good, put 2.5 kilogram on. Hell, put a 1.25 kilogram on. I mean, these are tiny, tiny weights, but it still counts as progressive overload, which of course is what you're going to want to do down the line. Nobody is going to expect someone that's just walked into the gym to be smashing out hundreds of kilograms of weights. And why do they even care again? It comes back down to that. It's just, of course I understand it because it's cool. And that's why when big guys do big lifts in the gym, everyone secretly goes quiet and uses the mirrors to watch them. Are they some kind of freaky stalker? But we want to see what they're going to do. What's their form going to be like? Are they actually able to lift this? Are they a strong man? There's all these questions, but nobody is going to expect that from you. No one should expect anything from you in the gym. Remember, you're in competition with yourself. So you want to do the bar, flipping awesome. If you just want to do bodyweight exercises, not even using any of the equipment, but just to soak up the atmosphere of the gym, do that. At least you went. And number 1, my favorite one, is that they are looking for the magic answer and they are way, way, way overly focused on the specifics. Right? Everybody thinks, well, what kind of supplements do I have to take? And what whey protein should I be taking it in? How many, blah, it's like, no, put the brakes on. Or they're talking about ATP levels, or they're talking about, do I have to lift this at a 45-degree angle? It's like, don't worry about any of that. Just sit on a machine and do 4 sets, 14 to 16 reps, and push yourself to a degree. Then stop. Then go do it over here, and then go do it over there. Like nobody wants too much too soon. You just don't. It's just it defeats everything. When you go to a wrestling show, right, or a boxing show, you don't want the main event on first. You go home. So that's what I paid for. I've seen the stars. I want to see the warm-up fighters now. So you leave. The promoter's like, what did I do that for? I should have saved it to build it up. It's the same with the gym. Build it up. build it up. And the coolest thing about when you start the gym is that your body will adapt, even if you're screwing everything up, because you're putting your muscles under tension, which you haven't done before. So it's going to react, and it's going to start moving in the right direction. But you don't need to worry about the question I get, and fair play to you, I'd be the same, of course, because it's in your face all the time. I'm going to say this word now, and everybody goes nuts in the comments. Don't be a dick about my accent. That's why it made me laugh so much. It's an unnecessary thing to say. But how much creatine should I take? Creatine? I mean, 5 milligrams is the answer. No, 5 grams. 5 grams is the answer. But I don't think you need to jump on creatine straight away. I just don't. I think it's too much too soon. And I think everybody that's starting in the gym does it. Just keep it base. See how your body reacts completely naturally. I mean, creatine's not natural. Do you know what I mean? See how you react with nothing, and then start adding things in. It makes the ride a lot more fun. There you go. There's the top 5 gym mistakes all beginners make, or at least they're the ones that I think are important, and hopefully they've helped. Like the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel. Ding, ding, hit that bell. Video on screen now. Click that to stay engaged with all Star Trek. Love Star Trek. Captain Picard, the best one. Comments going to explode. Got merchandise, got Twitter, got Instagram, got Patreon. That's how I'm able to do all of this, as I try to actually make a living out of YouTube money. They do not pay you a lot, but either way, I appreciate your click. I appreciate you watching, especially got to this point. Audience engagement rocks. See you soon.